Hi, Barbie!
Hi, Ken! Greta Gerwig is an American screenplay writer, actor, and director. She got into the business in 2006 when she started taking up small roles in various films. This led her to star in bigger roles, notably Noah Baumbach's 2012 film Frances Ha, Ty West's 2009 horror film The House of the Devil, A24's 20th Century Women, and more recently the 2022 Netflix adaptation of White Noise. She is mainly known for her 3 feature-length films where she both wrote and directed them. LadyBird is an A24-produced coming-of-age film slightly inspired by her own life, starring Saoirse Ronan and Laurie Metcalf. This was Greta's directorial debut and led to an Oscar nomination for Best Director, making her the 5th woman to ever be nominated for that award. Her next film is the 2019 adaptation of Mary Louisa Alcott's famous novel Little Women, which starred Florence Pugh, Emma Watson, Saoirse Ronan, and Laura Dern, amongst others. This movie brought in 144 nominations and 51 wins. Her latest film is the live-action Barbie adaptation starring Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling as lead characters and is slated to hit theaters on July 21st. Throughout her life, Greta has always had some relation to acting. She grew up in Sacramento being involved in the theater. She mainly acted, but as she got older, she found that she preferred creating and watching plays. She has even stated that she took inspiration from the musical Singing in the Rain and the theater works of Vincent Minnelli. Her theater work quickly transpired into acting, and she began starring in low-budget improv features such as Joe Swanberg's 2007 film Hannah Takes the Stairs. That role eventually led to bigger roles in indie films. After acting for about 9 or so years, Greta decided to take the leap and try to get her screenplay for LadyBird made. Back in 2013, Greta had written the idea for LadyBird and begun writing what would become the 350-page first draft of the movie. In an interview with Screen Daily, Greta talks about how she tends to overwrite all of her scripts and explains, "That's my way. I go too big and then I find the essence and pare it back." A24 eventually picked it up and has since become the 3rd highest grossing film that A24 has ever produced, right behind Everything Everywhere All at Once and Hereditary. LadyBird is a coming-of-age tale that is heavily influenced by Greta's past, so she enacted a color palette that used cool tones to represent the look of a memory. In an interview with IndieWire, she maintained, "We wanted it to look like a memory, but we didn't want it to look self-conscious. It was about finding this balance." With this idea in mind, she and her cinematographer went with a cool-toned look with a heavy emphasis on browns and blues with some hints of soft hues of reds and yellows. Little Women takes on 2 different color palettes since the film goes back and forth between past and present. The scenes that take place in the past are all warm-toned with lots of reds, oranges, and many pastel shades. This can act as a visual depiction of childhood and innocence. The present-day scenes bring forth a color palette that is more neutral with a focus on blue and black. This can be translated as a visual form of grief and a longing for something that can't be obtained. In the final scenes of the movie, we see a much-needed shift in character development with the sisters, and the color palette changes once more. It reverts back to the vibrance of the past scenes, but with an added layer of maturity. Even from the trailers for Barbie, we have a distinctive visual style. All the scenes that are set in the Barbie world are all bright, playful, and whimsical, with various shades of pink being the main feature. But, as the trailer shows, once Barbie and Ken enter the real world, everything is much more muted and washed out, making the 2 of them stand out. Their clothing is the only thing that captures the original color palette of the Barbie world. In a 2018 article from Time magazine titled "How Greta Gerwig is Leading by Example," the author proclaims, "LadyBird has since been nominated for 5 Oscars, including Best Director. This shouldn't be any more noteworthy than another film's success, but it is. Women behind the camera rarely get mainstream recognition for their work." The non-mixed Gerwig, just the 5th woman nominated for directing in 90 years of the Academy Awards, and the first female nominee since Kathryn Bigelow became the only woman to win for The Hurt Locker in 2010. Greta Gerwig's work has been quite influential in the film world for multiple reasons, mainly through her storytelling and knowing the importance of creating complex female characters. A major aspect of why Greta Gerwig has really inspired me is how she both writes and directs her work. I've always had the dream to be able to bring to life something I wrote, and after I found out she's done both for all 3 of her projects, it made me feel a little bit more confident that I could do something like that myself. Another main contender as to why Greta Gerwig is such an inspiration to me is how her films center around strong female leads and relationships. LadyBird is focused on a complicated mother-daughter relationship, Little Women is focused on 4 sisters with very different dreams, and each one is written in a way way that makes them feel three-dimensional. And even with the Barbie film, the character posters indicate how each of the Barbies has these amazingly diverse jobs, such as a celebrated author, a Nobel Prize winner in physics, a doctor, the president, a Pulitzer Prize winner, a diplomat, and the Supreme Court justice. Overall, I am very excited to see the work that she does in the future.
I've always wanted to be a writer, and I'm truly so grateful and shocked, and thank you so much.